Hello, and welcome to another installment of the DM Journal. I am Jack from Tabletop, and this week we are going to talk a little bit about world and deity design, the Archive of Esoteric Secrets, and a few little bits and pieces surrounding our first adventure, Thieves of Rosebrook. So, this week, I've not been as busy as I usually am. I've been doing bits and pieces here and there, but not around major projects at this moment. I've got some schools just started back up, and I've got to, keep up with that at a reasonable rate. And an opportunity that has opened up for me at the moment is to basically flex my world building muscles more than I already have been all summer, and design a small island space as a part of my course on game design. So I've sort of to basically just to sort of show off design skills and stupid stuff like that. So in essence, what I have is this island space with at the moment 2 human people on it, one indigenous and one from elsewhere. And I'm probably going to add some more as time goes on, and just to make the place a little more interesting. But as it stands at the moment, it's a very interesting project. It's very stimulating. It's very, building the skills that I have. And I would recommend it to anybody who just wants to get more in tune with the world building capabilities. It's just kind of building a small setting, like something very small, like an island the size of Wales or something. Wales is a fairly small country, but it still has enough sort of cultural diversity and space for stuff to happen. And that is kind of what I've emulated here with this pseudo-tropical island space. It's more sort of like a Polynesian island, that kind of environment, where new people have come, and the old people don't like them very much, and there's probably a third party involved, but I've not decided what that is yet, so that's been something I've been working on for school. And I think, because it's something I've been doing a lot, I think it's worth talking about deity design in D&D, because I feel some settings get it really, really right, and some are just kind of like, hey, there's a god of fire because the gods of fire, they seem to sort of take a lot of inspiration from the Greek deities without actually emulating what the Greek deities were about. And people also kind of forget that Greek deities come from a lot of places, because Greece was pretty big at one point. Like, it was quite large. I think Matt Colville said it best, because when does he not, let's be honest, that deities should revolve around a setting or a people's culture, and they should by no means be separate. Deities, if your culture values the concept of time and the passage of time and life and death, you should have a god that emulates that. Not just have a god of time just for the fuck of it. Say, in one of the settings, these people think they think the moon, the indigenous people of this island, they think that the night sky is a window into all the souls in the universe, and just the way that they perceive it is a way that the human mind can comprehend without breaking. And the moon, is being the biggest thing in the sky, is the most powerful of all of those things, and they worship that as a deity. Thing is, the daytime exists, and the night sky kind of goes away. So the sun must be a bad guy. He must be evil. So they're like that kind of build, deities around that. There is the North Star, the biggest star that isn't the moon, is also another entity. They live on an island, so the shore is a friendly entity, is a being of goodness, because it provides them with fish and shells and other stuff that washes up on shore that's important. Whereas out in the deep sea, that shit is fucking dangerous. You're gonna die. So that's a more sinister entity. So it's kind of like what these people believe should be what they worship and what they vilify. because some people think having evil deities is kind of a bad thing, because it's not realistic. Or I'd say, it's Satan. You don't create an entity to be worshipped that's evil. You create an entity to be vilified that is evil, which I think is super interesting and opens up a lot of avenues for a lot of cool stuff. I really like the way that Colville especially sort of introduced that concept to me, and I think a lot of other people, and I think it's a message that should probably be spread to all fantasy writers and world builders and stuff, because it makes the world feel so much more real and authentic than just having some guy, he's the god of fire, and some lady, she's the god of the ocean. Like, why is this person the god of this? What do these people believe that would make them think this? So yeah, that's kind of my consensus on that. Also, we have been working on our first adventure, Thieves of Rosebrook. I have been designing, or me and Libby and Katie have been designing pre-gen characters that people can use if they want to play. Because Thieves of Rosebrook is designed as a beginning adventure, designed to be really good for new DMs, or really good for new players. Especially good for new players. We provide pre-generated characters with a lot of detail about them that the players can tweak however the hell they choose. Could be a point of inspiration, or something they want to steal, or just use the whole character as is. And I thought I'd give a brief preview of one of them today. This is one of the ones that I designed. This is Shaviana Aletha, a Drow Inquisitor. If you're interested in the Inquisitor, there is a link in the description. It is a class that I created some time ago, long before the beginning of Jock Tabletop. It is due for an update quite soon, and that will come. Thanks to one of the Toms, that one, who is playing a Warlock Inquisitor in one of our games. It's sort of giving me some insight into changes that I think need to be made to the Inquisitor to make it a little more viable, because it's a little underpowered at the moment. But Shaviana is level 1 Inquisitor. She's Drow, she's noble, and she's chaotic good. She is a worshipper of Palor, or some sun deity of your choosing, which is very interesting, because Drow and sunlight. She wants to effectively bring her religion underground and bring her people onto the surface, which I think is a very interesting sort of dynamic for a character, is to have a Drow character that isn't super edgy and isn't super, like, oh, I hate my people, I'm Tritsteward, because, everybody who makes a Drow kind of ends up doing that, and whilst that's not really a problem, I feel like it's a lot more interesting to have somebody who wants to go back and improve Drow society, which I think could be very interesting. And a DM who runs a game with this character in it could do a lot of things with that background. For those who are unaware, I'll give a brief rundown of the Inquisitor. It is free on the DM's Guild. There'll be a link in the description if you want to go get it. It's free. Just download it, have a read through it, see if you like it. If you don't like it, well, that's whatever. That's fine. If you do like it, well, feel free to start using it, because it's good fun. It is due for a little bit of a tweak, a little bit of an update, but on the whole, it's still pretty good. In the meantime, however, the Inquisitor is effectively it is inspired somewhat by the Pathfinder Inquisitor, and the concept of it has judgments. That's kind of where that ends, though. Everything else is kind of its own deal. Its subclasses are designed in a vaguely similar way, and it has judgments, but that's it. There are 6 Inquisitor subclasses: Arcane, Conversion, Pursuer, Shadow, Strength, and Flagellant. Arcane is about sort of the acquisition of arcane artifacts. They get extra wizard and cleric spells as opposed to just Inquisitor spells, which is super cool. And that is what Shaviana is. She's an Arcane Inquisitor. Whilst anyone, you can change what she is by all means, but that is what she's written in as. A Conversion Inquisitor is basically a soapbox preacher who will just yell the glory of their deity, but is also magically gifted in their ability to get people to do what they want. Pursuers seek out evil and destroy it before it can arise. Shadow Inquisitors infiltrate enemy factions, specifically other religious orders, to bring them down from the inside. Strength Inquisitors are sort of more warrior type guys. They protect their religious order or the worship of their deity more directly by just fighting whatever comes their way. And Flagellant is inspired a lot by this is one strictly like no inspiration from Pathfinder. This is inspired more by the Flagellant from Darkest Dungeon, in that, you know, you actually get some blood magic from flaying yourself effectively, which I think is very interesting. That is the Inquisitor. It is a third casting divine caster with special judgments to debuff enemies, buff allies, and its own devotion that it can use to buff itself some more. So yeah, link in the description, free on the DM's Guild, give it a read if you want to. It's good fun. Finally, a little bit on the Archive of Esoteric Secrets. There's not a huge amount of information on here at the moment, but I can say that I am nearing the end of spell design. Katie should hopefully be getting started on some of the art soon-ish, so we are probably still on track for a release later this year. As long as all things go well, I probably have another 20 spells left to add. Not a huge amount, and I'm very excited to see the thing completed in its finished form. I'm super stoked to see how it turns out, because I've been working on this thing, you know, what with the original, the different arcane volumes, and now I've been working super hard on this. You know, I am super excited to release this thing. Yeah, that is all the time I have for this installment of the DM Journal. If you like this, press the buttons. You know what buttons they are, just press them. And if you didn't like it, just don't press them. It's fine. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you in a couple of weeks.